Hey everybody, Erica from On Strategy here. Today's 60-second whiteboard video is from one of our recent leadership team interviews on one of the most important pieces of strategy, communication. And the takeaway is strategy is communication and communication is strategy. So here's a nice way to think about it in terms of your audience, staff, leadership team, board, community. I just put it in this nice 4-part grid just to help us give something to structure. And based on who the audience is, what tools are you using for staff, your one-on-ones, a one-pager of your plan, but also a one-pager of your performance, maybe once a quarter? So cool, so effective. Your all hands meetings, consistency of communication about where you're going and why, and where you are on that journey. For your leadership team, the communication points are your monthlies and your quarterlies, your monthly reviews and your quarterly refreshes. Your board, you can use that one pager again and your one-page performance report, or you could call that your dashboard. And then something that we don't always do is communicate, maybe if you have a newsletter or in your social channels, to your broader community about how you're doing against your plan and your progress towards your vision. So this is just a nice, cool way to make sure that you're thinking about who you're communicating to, what you're using, and how often you are communicating to those different parts of your organization. This grid's inspiration came from Carmen and Meg in their recent interview in our show, Strategy Stories from the Real World. Carmen, the CEO of Maryland Food Bank, and Meg, the Chief Strategy Officer, are amazing leaders that have transformed their organization because they're such great communicators. Let's jump into a piece of their interview so you can learn more about why communication is so important to strategy development and execution.
But communication, right? Talking about the vision and the direction of the organization in virtually every interaction we possibly can, I think has been hugely important to help people just begin to sit with it for a while and live with it for a while, stimulate some dialogue and conversation around it, answer some specific questions. So I think that's certainly been one of, probably the most important step in this journey. The only other thing I would say, not just turn it to Meg, I'm sure she'd have some other thoughts too, is we labeled it. I mean, we gave it its own space, if you will. When we started this process several years ago, it was MFB 2.0, and so everything we referred to MFB 2.0 constantly in terms of our communication. And now we're on 3.0 with this refresh. And so again, I think it gives it something tangible that people can kind of relate to, and it's something we can refer to very easily with regard to just saying, well, this is part of our strategic plan. When we talk about 3.0, we're talking about what this vision is for the organization, and I think that probably help people get comfortable with it as well. Meg, I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I think communication is key because that's what allows for collaboration. And so one of the trickiest parts about driving strategy is that you come up with words and then everyone brings their own ears to those words and has a slightly different understanding of what the words actually mean when they go into, well, I'm going to take this and now I'm going to do something with it. So I think the communication has to come in a lot of different forms, and we have really prioritized that, whether it's all staff meetings, whether it's team meetings. We have special gatherings of our strategy leaders inside the food bank. And then there's a lot of time we spend one-on-one with folks as they're pulling up a KPI or they're pulling apart a goal or a strategic objective to really look at the words, the language, what it means. When are you going to work on that? What's the timing? How will you achieve that? How will you know if you're successful? And just having those slow, careful conversations, because I'll tell you, for me, those are the most energizing conversations because it provides clarity between the words and the people who are owning those goals within the plan. And then you know it's in good hands, right? And you know that there's alignment there and that people understand what other folks are doing. So those one-on-one conversations are very time consuming, but I think they are the secret ingredient that really allows we consider ourselves a large organization. As a nonprofit, we're about 150 people, but when you have a lot of people owning different goals, you really need to spend time on that work that does create the alignment around what the words actually mean. So, and as a communications person, I always say it takes 7 times before someone actually is like, yep, I gotcha. So don't ever tire of the work because it's perennial.
And there you have it. Don't forget to check out Meg and Carmen's full interview in the link in the description. As always, happy strategizing.